Well, hello there, Retro PC Durham. Chris here. We have another video and another machine on video. In this case, this Lenovo ThinkCentre M90p tower machine, which is a Gen 1, I believe. I'm pretty sure I'm right here. This is a Gen 1 Core i5 based tower machine, which also includes Lenovo's enhanced experience. Now, I don't have any, I don't think, pretty sure I didn't install any of the like Lenovo software and stuff on this when I loaded Windows 10 on here instead of Windows 7. But I guess at the time that was maybe something that they tried to advertise with their software package of update software and personalization, etc., to manage the system environment. Who knows? Anyways, let's take a look at it. Front of the system's pretty standard. Power button up at the top here. DVD multi-burner, 2 USB ports, and then we've got our audio ports on the other side. When we flip around to the back, we will have our connectivity options. We've got a generic power supply. We've got a serial port, which is pretty standard on business computers, you know, up until through the 2000s, and even today you can still sometimes get them. VGA output. We have 6 more USB ports, a gigabit Ethernet, and a display port out as well. So pretty decent selection. Let's take a top-down look and see what's inside the box. All right, opening the system's pretty straightforward. You kind of push this little indentation and it will allow you to release the side panel. Move it out of the way and we get to see our inside components of the system. So we've got an AC bell power supply. Let me adjust the light here. There we go. We have an AC bell power supply here, which is a 264 watt, or, well, sorry, we got a 280 watt max power supply because there is a 5-volt rail stuff here. So 280 watt power supply, pretty much it'll run whatever's on the board and nothing else. Single hard drive, which does have a easy release capped. You just twist these and you can slide this out, so it's pretty easy to uninstall and reinstall your hard drives. And this does have a release to be able to slide it out as well when it's unplugged. And then we've got our optical drive here, which has also got release buttons, so no screws required to install your drive components. And then we've got our Lenovo board here with 4 DIMM slots, DDR3, so we got 4 1 gig DIMMs here. It is standard power, so it's a 24-pin power with CPU, 4-pin CPU, no custom stuff here. So if you needed to ever replace this power supply, or if you had one of these and you wanted to use this 280 watt power supply in another machine, you can do so. Front panel is customized though. So there's your USB ports there, and then you've got a front panel connector here. I'm pretty sure this is a custom front panel. You can usually jury rig these if you had to pull this board out and put it into another case, that you can kind of figure out if you take apart these pins and refit them into, you know, the little connectors, that you can be able to work something like that out. But sometimes it's not that easy to be able to handle. And move these extra cables out of the way here. And then we got a couple of connectors available, 2 PCI slots if you have some old school stuff, and then a by 1 and a by 16 slot for PCIe. So you could put a GPU in here. Recommended, most likely you would want to only put a GPU that runs off of slot power, right? You don't want to, with these 280 watt power supply, you don't have a lot of extra room to be able to go. So like a 730, 830, or 730, 930, 1030 type graphics card would be okay to give a little bit of extra performance out of this instead of using the onboard HD graphics that come with this processor, if you were so inclined to do something like this with the first generation Core i5 or i7 processor. I'm not sure how well this board will handle one of the Xeon processors that fit within the same socket type here, but you can't do any overclocking on this board anyway, so it's not like any of those x58 tricks really work well in this space. You're kind of just best sticking with what the native performance is on this and dealing with whatever limited turbo boost you have available. Anyways, that's our look on the inside. I'm going to get this box back up and set up with the rest of the components that are going to go into the donation, and we'll check out our boot test. All right, we're all hooked up here. We've got our ThinkCentre M90p. We have a Lenovo L1951p, which is an LCD 19-inch monitor. I've had this for years, actually. I used this myself for a number of years, and it's finally going to become part of a donation machine. Then we've got this Logitech, what is it, Elite 250? It had a name here, Logitech Deluxe 250 keyboard, whatever that means. And then our temp mouse that we've been using for donation machines for the past month and a bit, because I don't have any extra mice to give away right now. Anyways, all ready to go. Let's hit the power button, and we will get our boot up. Everything seems to be okay. We got a little blink, a little beep. Saw that splash screen come up there, and Windows is now booting. All right, and that's our sign. We can get our camera readjusted and take a look in Windows at the rest of our specs and testing and all that stuff. So we do indeed have a first generation Core i5 processor. In this case, it's an i5 650, which is a dual core hyper-threaded processor that runs at around, what, 3.2 gigahertz, and has a little tiny bit of a boost clock in there. We are using the Intel HD graphics that are part of the chipset, and then we have 4 gig of memory. There's 4 DDR3 DIMMs, and we are running in dual channel. Ooh, fancy dual channel memory. And then we also have, for our storage, we've got that DVD RAM drive, and then a 7200 RPM 250 gigabyte hard disk drive. So again, all of these, basic computers that I catalog on the channel here are all very similar in terms of their specifications, and it really is just designed to be able to get a basic computer out there for a user to be able to connect up and do some, online learning or banking or email, or, maybe doing a live stream or something, that a webinar or whatever, for either a student or maybe someone who's just trying to start their life over and needs some help. And having a computer is better than having to do all that stuff off of like a smartphone or a tablet or something. All right, let's flip over to Chrome and take a look at some crab rave action here. We've got that all buffered up. So this screen is a 1440 by 900, 19-inch, 16 by 9 aspect ratio. So it's not 1080p, but a little bit better than 720p. Anyways, we're going to run at 1080p and see what kind of performance we get out of this. I'm expecting, 0 frame drops. Would be any Core i machine or newer. Should have all the necessary performance and codecs and everything to be able to run properly, which in this case, it looks like we have. No frame drops. I don't see any hitching or stuttering or anything like that. So I think we're in really good shape with this machine. And that will complete my review of this ThinkCentre M90p that's been refreshed and ready for donation. I hope you enjoyed taking a look at this. If you happen to have a series of these early Lenovo ThinkCentre Core i-based machines, please share down in the comments below if you maybe had one of these and upgraded it to use for gaming or something like that. Would love to hear and share that with the community. As always, I hope you are staying safe and healthy, and we'll catch you in the next one.